Hey everybody, my name is Taylor Jones and welcome back to my YouTube channel TC Jones Edits. For those that watched my recent video, David and Goliath, a cover from Take 6, thank you very much. And for those that didn't watch it, don't worry, the link for the latest video, the David and Goliath cover, will be in the description bar down below. But for this episode, no, not episode, this YouTube video is going to be a little different. Now, we all know who LeBron James is, and this one that I'm about to do is a little piece that I would call Dear LeBron. That's when I put my 2 cents in. Now, I'm not sure who my favorite NBA team is because it's hard to compare to the legendary teams from back then to now. But for Mr. LeBron James, this one's for you, and it goes like this. Dear LeBron, LeBron Ramon James Sr., what happened to you? Why are you the way that you are? Throughout the years, you've been an amazing talent. Fresh out of high school, never went to college, drafted in the NBA at 18 years old. But unfortunately, I was 9 at the time when this happened. Or 8 going on 9. You had everything. You took Akron by storm when you played for Cleveland. Everybody was so proud of you. But when you got older, throughout the years, you started getting too hostile, too overly dramatic. And I too, have been in the same position because I can and I will relate to what you've been through. Despite I never played basketball, but you did. I remember I used to rock headbands. And one guy that used to play high school basketball in my city, Milan, Tennessee, he used to call me LeBron Jones. But unfortunately, things have been going out of hand. Because when years change, things start to get out of hand. You are 36 years old, for crying out loud. You have been through all kinds of heaven and hell, but mostly hell, because you let the devil steal your joy. And I'm quoting this from my own father. Why did you let the devil steal your joy? Why are you overly dramatic? Why are you getting negative attention based on social media and what you do for a living, how you act, to the fact that one woman that's kind of like did some Nancy Grace stuff, telling you to shut up and dribble. Unfortunately, she ought to shut her big mouth up and mind her business. In a society where everybody is sick and tired of hearing your name, I feel like it's best to keep it real with you. Sometimes you have to shut up to survive. Don't say nothing. Don't overcome. No, let me rephrase that. Don't overly dramatic. No, don't act overly dramatic. But instead, you already became a meme like, why? We all know what went down with J.R. Smith. Heck, even a YouTuber by the name of RDC World 1 has imitated you. When you always get mad in the locker room, that's when he takes his actions, but playing as you, LeBron. He's imitating you to the fact that he's angry as much as you are, trying to show the whole world how you react. It's kind of like me in real life. I get mad over nothing. But every time this happens, people start to lose faith in you. They already called you sellouts. They already know that you are a drag queen. Who will call you that? Well, according to YouTube videos, there's one claiming that legendary Charles Barkley, who is now a sports analyst with EJ, oh, EG Daily, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Shaquille O'Neal, the NBA inside, you know Chuck was not pleased. You wanted to be like Michael Jordan so bad. But instead, you're not acting like the GOAT. It's kind of like Michael B. Jordan telling the whole LA, Los Angeles, California, as he's imitating his character Killmonger from Black Panther. You know, Wakanda forever. And unfortunately, he exposed you. Is this your king? Is this your king? And exactly who is the Michael B. Jordan in the NBA that exposed you? If it ain't Charles Barkley, then who is it? Mr. Booker. The same Booker that had a whopping 50-point average in the playoffs, playing from the Valley along with Chris Paul, CP3. And all of a sudden, it's like you don't care anymore. Well, that's exactly why I've said earlier, you let the devil steal your joy. How come you never come to God? That's the thing, LeBron. God is always there when you need him. What will it take for you to understand that God is not far away? Maybe if the whole world, if the NBA players would stop putting God in the back burner, they would use their head and put you first and put him first. But unfortunately, it ain't even like that. So many changes. You all doing this for fame and money, but that can be an infamous task. Even Tyronn Lue had the right to tell you to shut the heck up. But unfortunately, you're just taking your whole life from the decisions you made to how you act to your own hands. But you're not asking the real questions. What would Jesus do? Or, and the second question besides that, if Jesus is the main purpose, what would your mother do? What would your father do? Why don't you come to them? Why don't you hear them out? They're encouraging you to keep going. But they also want you to stop being childish. You got to put away childish things. Even in your mind. You got to get it out of your system. Just like a tattoo. You never want to get rid of it. But that's kind of like the devil. You're not getting rid of him. He's the tattoo. He's the one that's got you messed up. And I can hear it now. Remember your ex-partner in crime, Kyrie Irving, who is now from a Cleveland Cavalier to a Brooklyn Net, who's still advancing with KD and the beard. When he played Uncle Drew, an NBA legend who played Uncle Drew's teammate, Chris Webber, from the Fab Five of Michigan to playing as a Sacramento King. He's the main king that you ought to learn from. And he said it best. Drew, you want to make things right, do you? Do you got to stop running from the truth? Uncle Drew, 2018. But throughout your life, you have got to know where you're coming from. Heck, imagine what it would be like if you went to bed tonight, LeBron, and you had a vision, had a dream, that you was lost, all alone. Then you see you're stranded on a beach, like an island, kneeling down, squatting down, your knees planted in the sand. Doing this, looking at the sunset, looking at the water coming straight to you, because you're all alone. You're trying to find peace, but unfortunately, let's just say that a younger you came to him. A younger you came to you. Say, LeBron, well, why are you so down? What would you tell your younger self? Like, what would you tell him? And let's just say that your younger self gave you some ideas, like gave you some good advice. Look, LeBron, you can't give up now. You got to keep fighting. You got to know when to slow down. You got to man. Something like this made me want to think of changing my own life, like giving some advice. Is like, I'm giving advice, but I'm not doing anything about it for myself. Because sometimes with advices like this, it makes you want to think. But I think I got it now. Your younger self, LeBron, it's like, he's saying, you got to overcome it. Overcome the past. Overcome what happened to you. You already are turned out as an NBA devil. Nobody understands you. Nobody stands you. They can't take you anymore. Because you've gone too far. You're acting like the younger me in a hard-headed mood. You're not hard-headed. You're a man. You're a basketball star. Why don't you act like one? You are a 4-time champion. Why can't you play like one? And let's just say that before the younger you walks away, what would be a good thing he would tell you, LeBron? What would the younger you tell you for right now? Don't give up, LeBron. Don't give up. And then all of a sudden, it gives you some time to relax, trying to regain your strength. And then the very next day, you decided to get up, get on your knees and pray to God. Tell him your weaknesses, and he can provide you a better opportunity, better chances to make things right. If you want to make things right, you got to come to him. Then you got to come to your family, your parents, your siblings, and your wife and your children. Be a patriarch of the family. Be a wise man. Don't be a fool. And when you're in the basketball courts, LeBron, when you're on social media, use your head. Think about what you say. Think about what you do. Think about where you're going to go. And even when things go wrong, you need to slow down. Next time, don't try the flops. Don't try to argue with the referees. Accept the fouls and you got to tell yourself, look, LeBron, that's enough. You have got to move on from this. Play like the LeBron you used to be when you was in high school. Instead of being a fool, be a man. That's exactly what Patrick Ewing had to deal with. Called the delivery man, the postman, the mailman, Karl Malone. He had to deal with that. Gary, the thief, or was it the glove, Gary Payton. He had to deal with that. Dikembe Mutombo, Allen the Truth Iverson, or was it the answer? Because if Paul was the truth, then Allen is the answer. And guess what? They all had one thing in common, except for Paul Pierce. So I'm going to put Paul Pierce out the picture. Iverson, Mutombo, Payton, Malone, Ewing. They never won an NBA title, but they still got mad love from the fans. But what will it take for you to get mad love? Maybe if you stop walking out. Like when, let's say there was 5 minutes and you walked out in the fourth quarter. You got to stop it. You got to stop letting the devil get the best of you. See, this is what happens when you let LeBron in red, dressed up like a Damu or Pyru or mostly a Blood. And unfortunately, he's not a Blood. He's the demonic version of you. LeBron on your left shoulder. See, I knew you was going to fall for that. I knew it. Come on, hey, smoke weed with me. Smoke a cigar. Let's have a good time. You fall for his clutches. But what does LeBron on your right shoulder say? The angelic LeBron. Kind of like the young LeBron I talked about earlier. What would he tell you? Now look, LeBron, you have got to man up. You got to fall back. You're letting the devil get the best of you. If I was you, I would stay and accept my dignity, accept my loss like a man. Give much respect to the other teams. And when the time is right, I get on the court and practice until I finally understand what it's like to be a real basketball player, not a fool. You're better than this, LeBron. You're better than this. That's what the angelic LeBron would tell you. So, and to all Lakers fans, just know that despite all the asinine things that took place in the NBA, you all deserve mad love. But for the Lakers, including Frank Vogel, you have got to step up. You got to prove that you can be better than you were before. You're trying to be like last year, but you failed to do that this year. You got to stop letting the devil get the best of you. You got to put God first. What's the point of doing that if you don't accept God's word? Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and all these things and his righteousness. And all these things shall be added unto you. But instead, since I'm making a video called Dear LeBron, because I'm talking to LeBron James in social media form, but you can hear the words coming out of my mouth. This also goes to all of you Lakers, all of you fans, all you LA Californians. But only 50% is the Lakers. Of the other 50 is the Clippers. And you're going for Mr. Kawhi. And if Kawhi know about LeBron's departure, he would be like, but no. This has nothing to do with Kawhi. It has something to do with LeBron. Just know. So LeBron, what I'm really trying to say is, from a Tennessean's point of view to an LA Laker himself, who just won last year's title against Jimmy Butler and the Heat, you have got to know when to stop letting your fear, your hard-headed attitude, your sinful ways get the best of you. Even when it means to act like a crybaby, you got to stop that. You got to know when to overcome, because you got all summer, all fall, all the time in the world, and you can even learn a thing or two from your children. Because next thing you know, they want to play with you, play basketball with you. You got to stop being depressed about this. You've done all that you can. 4 titles. But sometimes you got to accept defeat to win. And it takes more than Fantasia Barrina to tell you that. Sometimes you got to lose to win the game. We can't go back to 2013. We can't go back to your first NBA final appearance. We got to move forward. And you LeBron, you got to know you got to know when to give up the ghost. Give up the old, sinful, selfish, depressed, ashamed, guilty LeBron James that you were from this season ever since Phoenix kicked your butt. And you got to prove to God that you can do better. Sometimes you need to pray. Sometimes you need to back away from others. Because if you got nothing nice to say, you need to ask yourself, okay, am I really doing, who am I trying to impress? Who are you trying to impress? Man or God? Well, you chose man, and that is a false move, a bad move, a controversial move that everybody knows about. Sometimes you just don't want to be a man. You just want to be a kid in heart. But being a kid in heart always leads to more trouble. But being a loser and being guilty about it, that's worse. We had so many losers that decided to kill themselves, overdose, gun to the head, noose to the neck. Or we had some other losers that packed their bags and left the family because, as an old saying, take me out to the ball game, you know. So let's root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. You got to stop letting shame get the best of you. See, this is part of why you're living a life full of the 7 deadliest sins. And I can only think of 6 because I don't know 7 by heart. All I do know is that you are a victim of lust, victim of pride, victim of slothfulness. And also, you cannot be glutton. You cannot be envious, which you were a victim of that. The devil's got power, and he caught you in a net. He's going to pull you in the biggest clutch to the fact that he wants to kill you. The devil wants to kill you. Now remember, LeBron, you got to ask yourself, who am I trying to impress? Man or God? If you choose God, then you're going to have to prove to the fans and your family and friends and your teammates that you're better than you were from this playoff season. You've got to stop letting everybody make fun of you on social media. You got to stop being a meme. You got to stop flopping. You got to stop arguing with the referees. You got to stop crying over everything. Matter of fact, crying over nothing. Heck, if I keep this up, a lot of people gonna look at me like, Taylor, are you out your dang mind? Some people want me to shut up, but no, I am not doing it. I'm talking to LeBron James, and I'm telling it like it is. Put my 2 cents in, or make that $1 million. If I had enough money in the world, I would probably spend it wisely. Put it in savings wisely. But unfortunately, the IRS, I have to pay it back, because best things in life are not 100% free. Because we all live in lies, in the world full of lies. We have to pay back every dollar we earn. And LeBron James, if you understand me at this point, you would do something about it. You would get on the floor, well, the gym floor, stretch, try to learn how to shoot better, learn how to imitate like you were taking charges. Practice on shot faking. Basketball ain't new to you. It's never new to you. And if I keep this up, let's just say that some folks, like out of 6 billion people, I ended up with 1 million views because of this video, 100,000 likes. But that is not the case, because I got 19. I have to advance. But LeBron, if you want to overcome this, you have got to start now. Now is the time, because you can't wait till tomorrow. You might be dead tomorrow. You might be dead because some fans decided to do a drive-by on you. Yo, what's up now, partner? No, we can't go back to Minister Society. This ain't Boys in the Hood. This ain't Colors. But this is real life. You only got one shot, and it takes more than Eminem to tell you that. You got to lose yourself. Lose your old self. Lose your negative self. Even swat or punch the demon LeBron off your shoulder. Ah! Is that too much to ask? I mean, for right now, LeBron, just think about it. Because if you had 10 minutes to hear this, no, if you have 30 minutes to an hour, you will probably repeat this. Repeat the video and try to hear things clearly. Like sometimes words need to be repeated. Because next thing you know, it's kind of like a rap lyric in your head. Something that was already once mentioned. And a good example of a rap lyric in your head is Outkast and Goody Mob, when they say, you need to get up, get out, and get something. But to get something, you gotta do something. So do what God intends you to do, and stop letting the devil steal your joy. And when you get that in your head, you're gonna stop walking out the court when it's 5 minutes and you're trailing by 30, especially in the playoffs. Because if you had to go against Booker next year, you're going to have to step up, kick it up a notch, prove to the young teammates that I messed up before, but I'm not going to do that again. Even if you had to move to a next team. The choice is yours. But this This is something you need to think about. From Tennessee all the way to California. Matter of fact, the whole USA is listening to this. And they probably want to put their 2 cents in and tell you that you falling off and you need to get back on top of things. Even Dave Chappelle would tell you that ever since he made the Redemption song, he said, nothing seems greater to watch a brave man fall because of the cowards. Cowards love to see brave guys fall. Well, why don't you fight back against the cowards? Kick them in the nads. Stomp on their feet. Punch them in the face. Let's see how they can go back. They're going to fall. They're weak. But you should not be weak, LeBron. You're not weak. You're better than this. Better. Without social media. Better. Without crying like a double crosser over nothing. You're better than this. So, LeBron Raymond James Sr., please overcome this. Use your brain. Listen. Stop looking, listen before you cross the street, before you pick up the basketball, before you act a fool in the NBA, because you've been doing that for 18 years, and dadgummit, that is not going to last long. Because sooner or later, you're going to have to put your foot down and like, you know what, I messed up, I'm done. I got to play stronger than this. Is that too much to ask? So, that's all I'm going to say. And for those that's watching, thank you very much for spending your quality time listening to me. Because if you want to tell somebody, like a celebrity or an athlete, singer, that's falling apart, make sure you know what you're saying. And be careful too, because you never know exactly who's going to watch this. And I'll be darned if I get catfished, because catfish and hackers, they also watch stuff. But if it's going to be war, then we might as well fight. But that's not the case. The only war we need to fight against is fear versus strength. The cowards versus the heroes. Satan versus God. That's the number one war. Are we with God or are we against him? And if we're against him, we need to step on back and join God's army. So this is for LeBron James. And this is sincerely from yours truly, Taylor Jones. Yeah. So anyway, that marks my Dear LeBron video. And if you like it, please feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And remember, the David and Goliath cover by Take 6 is in the link is in the description bar down below. And there will be more in stores. This is yours truly, Taylor Jones, signing out. LeBron, this is for you.